Microsoft begging people to use their AI. I saw a really funny like headline that posted like begging, right? Where they're like, oh, the head guy was like, please, you have to use Copilot AI or it's gonna die. They were talking about like AI in general or something because things are starting to like, I don't know how much of it is fear mongering versus how much of it is like actually gonna happen because it's all predictive news, right? But I'm seeing a lot about like AI just not doing so well. OpenAI being the big one, right? I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, bro, I don't know. Let me ask you guys because I'm on 10, not using Copilot at all. What is Copilot? What are they trying to get you to do with it? What are they actually trying to get you to use Copilot for? Genuinely. A lot of people saying IDK, ChatGPT for business, but it's just not good. It's jammed into everything. Is it one of those things? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like Clippy? Is it one of those things where every time you use anything on Windows, it just shows up in the corner and is like, ask me instead of clicking buttons yourself? Is that what it is? One person said, nah, not that invasive. Okay, maybe not everything, right? They renamed Office to Copilot, so I guess Copilot's also Office. Yeah, it seems like it's an encompassing term. You have to ask it to help you, but yes. Okay. They put it in Notepad. Now that pisses me off because I love Notepad. I love Notepad. They're about to get me to start handwriting stuff again, dude. They put it in Paint. Okay. So what this sounds like to me is they made their own and they were like, let's see if we can have it in a meta way, just help you with like everything across the board, across the suite, which is a cool idea if people wanted that, right? And then they did it and it's not that good, but it's like early enough. So they said, fuck it, send it because they like to send their MVP every time, even if it's not like anywhere in a good state. Because I don't know, companies that do things related to AI seem to like to full send stuff when it's like nowhere near ready just to get it trained up. So it sounds like they did that and now people are pissed and they're like, no, it's good though, right? Was that correct? Yeah. Stupid. It's not help, it's destruction of your own ability to think, create, and learn. Here's what I think. I think a lot of the stuff that people are throwing AI into, I don't know why we're using AI instead of just having better UX, instead of redesigning our products. Well, I do know why, but that's the question. Why are we using this? And I think it's because, and this is not to get conspiracy about it, this is just like what I see. VCs with huge amounts of money are always trying to figure out what can I convince another company to do to make money and I pay them for, because I don't do the work myself. I'm just a VC. I just pay someone to make a thing and then reap some of the benefit, right? So what they do is they look for something that's up and coming that people don't always understand well enough, but they know they can sell them on. And that company can then sell people on and use it to make money, whatever. And they just try to get that going. So I think it can come from multiple sources, but I think that world is just filled with people standing in boardrooms that go, we got to use AI. We got to make a product. Pay me $5 million to make the product. And then it's all these people lining their pockets, you know? Yeah, snake oil circle. You just sit there in a room and convince people to give you money to make a thing so you get paid. You get these VCs to also look around. They're like, oh, this is the new hotness. So they start trying to get everyone to do it. And it's just everyone at the upper level all telling each other, you got to do this because they see money in it. And then over time, they realize, uh-oh, I'm paying, but I'm not really getting much back. And that's when it collapses, which is what we're starting to see. Maybe it'll full collapse, maybe it won't, you know, like that's all. We don't know, but at least there's like one major company, right? That's a huge name going like, oh, right?
Using the electrical consumption of NYC to create anime boobies in Microsoft Paint is the future I fully expected, and here we are.
Yes. Yes. I need it. Thank you, Copilot. No, but that's the thing that I think is happening here. It's very, like, just to water it down, obviously there's a lot of nuance I'm leaving out, but to keep it simple, like all these people up at the top are convincing each other to throw money at each other so they can all make more money by using AI as their buzzword or thing. And then they're forcing everyone, you know, levels below them to work on this stuff because they're like, we will pay you. And what does the common man want? A job and to be paid? Right? It just wants to make money to live. So people are like, okay, I guess. And they're like, if this is what I'm being paid for, then I'm going to make it, I guess. And they do that. There you go. And then they insert it into every product. And by inserting it into every product, you can be like, oh, my social media platform with 8 more billion users has this AI thing that makes it good because the number of users using it is so high. And then they use that to get even more money, even though most people are like not even using it. They're like, get this shit away from me, you know? And there you go. And it's just a cycle, but eventually the money runs out. So we'll see. I do think, however, the average person doesn't really care about this conversation that much. Like the average non-internet user, person who's not like very on the internet, doesn't actually hate AI that much usually. They just kind of don't understand it and they don't really care about the conversation is what I've noticed. I think if you spend a lot of time online, the conversation is completely different. And I find that people talking to each other online about it are like, oh, it's finally happening. They're all celebrating. They're like, it's over. But I'm like, well, normal people that are not you know, super online, I think they don't care about this conversation. They don't know much about it, and they're just like, oh, it's a thing. It's just something that's been put in front of them. They're like, oh, whatever. If you show someone who's, again, not very on the internet, and you show them a weird video, and it's clearly AI because it's like one of those ones where like a cat is speaking English, right? They'll look at it and they'll be like, oh my God, is that editing? You'd be like, oh, AI made this. And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, it's fake though. And they don't care. They're just like, I don't care how this was made. It's just, I know it's fake now. So, okay. And that's it. And there's no like further conversation about it. So that's why I think, I don't know how quickly and this stuff will actually like collapse if it does, because I think so many people just don't care. I think it's a very, if you're very online thing that, you know, you have more to say and you know more about the situation, you understand more of the ups and downs, right? Very much a bubble. It is a large bubble, but I think it's a bubble with a huge degree of separation from the people that aren't in it. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. I think if you are like on Twitch a lot, on YouTube a lot, and you sit there and you really have these like discussions about content and the meta of it, I think you care a lot more about this stuff and you see a lot more of what's going on. But, you know, while the average person is just, they just don't know. Right? And if they're not that online, they're not as affected. Some of them might still be, but overall their life isn't as affected. Only certain things in their life are, you know? So it's very interesting, very interesting. Each time you try to inform your dad about a topic, he agrees and then forgets it the next day. I mean, that's the hard part too. It's different for us if we're very online because we get, you know, this news shoveled at us constantly to an alarming degree even. But yeah, you said they do kind of hate it when it makes the thing they're using. Yeah, I think when people see the shitification in front of them and then they're like, what's this about? And you go, oh, it's because blah, blah, blah. Then they'll listen, because people don't listen or care until it's on their doorstep. You know, people really don't get perceived by others, especially as truly caring, until a thing is on their doorstep and they do something about it. Saying stuff about it doesn't matter. It's actually doing something about it. So they're not going to do something about it until it negatively affects them and enough to a degree where they're like, now I'm not going to use this thing, or I'm not going to buy this phone because it has this AI assistant that I don't want, or, you know, like the money has to move. The money has to move for something to happen. So I think we're still a ways to go before, like, you know, everything crashes or something. We'll see. But also keep in mind, like, the average person can't tell how much of the internet is bots versus people on a lot of platforms. They think everything's like a real person that they're talking to. So, you know, if they can't even tell that, then we're like 10 steps ahead, you know? Got a ways to go.